Today, EA Sports College Football 25 officially dropped their Sights and Sounds deep dive along with a trailer that gave us so much detail about this upcoming game. And we're going to be going over it today, especially the deep dive, because I don't want you guys to miss out on anything that you may not have had time to read yourself. And so with that, if you're excited, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing EA Sports College Football 25 wanted to touch on is the vision. They wanted to make sure they touched on each and every team is someone's favorite team in college football. And so that's why they wanted to focus so much on intros, pageantry, turnover celebrations, touchdown celebrations, crowd interactions, things of that nature for all 134 FBS schools. So with that, they decided to give us a behind the scenes look on how they did it for all of us college football fanatics. So if you go into Sights and Sounds, they said, picture this. You are playing as Penn State, getting ready to take on your opponent. This all starts with your team running out of the tunnel to Zombie Nation, blasting, and the whole stadium is chanting, "We are Penn State." And it's just insane to even think about that being in a game. And so they recreated that feeling, sound, and visuals of the pregame as if you were down on the field with them. And I think that's really cool for them to have that much detail, having the rhythm to the cadence and everything like that, along with the visuals that you'll actually experience. That's from Road to Glory, Dynasty, Play Now, Ultimate Team, whatever the case may be. I think that's going to be a good look overall. And then they move on to traditions, and they talked about the game day tradition is a key element to what separates Saturday from Sunday all around the country. Knowing this, we went to a painstaking lengths to build out and capture the sights and sounds of college football. And something that makes college football stand out from what we see on Sundays in the NFL are the runouts. Anytime they have the camera following the players out, whether you're at Notre Dame or if you're at Florida and they're touching the gator, look, it's such a good look, man, just to see that. Something they did want to highlight though is that they motion captured a lot of the content that we did see in the trailer. Motion capture was the key to ensuring the accuracy and detail of all the props, from historical items all the way to the brand new traditions of game day. Every prop was built to its accurate size and weight and then mocapped in a studio. And that's crazy to think that they went that far so we can actually get a gist of what it's like to be there in stadium playing this game, man. Another example referencing this is that they built the two-story ramp to replicate the hill for Clemson's run out. And showing it here, it's crazy to see how they had so much time and detail to make sure they got that to a T. Honestly, I thought they probably shot it at Clemson, but it's so cool to see that they actually just rigged this in the studio and did this themselves. They built Notre Dame stairs leading to the classic tradition of tapping on the play like a champion sign, and so on and so forth, man, just to show that they put a lot of emphasis on those team intros. And the cool thing about this, I think, is that if they focused on this for 25, going into the future, you know, my mind is already thinking about college football 26. A lot of these traditions don't change year to year. This is like a key staple that if you can take care of this, you can make minor polishes and changes down the road, because most teams are going to keep the same traditions for years to come, decades to come. So now that you have this in place, such a key component of college football, they won't have to worry about this come college football 26. And I think that's something that's really cool. On side of that though, to continue what we're talking about with Sights and Sounds, we saw in the reveal trailer that they talked about the Gator Tunnel, and they traveled to Gainesville to get the exact scan of the Gator statue that the players tap on their way out of the locker room. And I think just that detail in itself is so cool to have. I'll show you a photo here, that way you guys can take a look. And man, I think just that detail that they focused on is just so important. And for the mascots, they talked about that we initially did a lot of internal research for each one, checking on what's unique about each of the mascots and what do fans enjoy most about them. So they talked about, for example, the Texas Hook'em had follow me eyes. The team worked to get that same level of practical effect in the game. So something as small as that they focused on for the future, and I think that's really cool. And even when it comes to OU, man, they had the Boomer and the Sooner horse with the OU logo painted over the eyes on their blinders, and I think that's so cool to have that much detail in place for this game. Now, I think a key staple that a lot of people are gonna like, and hopefully when you're playing Play Now, these animations will play out regardless, just to put a little salt on the wound, are the turnover traditions. So they said not only do we have the classic school traditions in the game, but the new era of traditions, including the turnover and touchdown props, which made it into the game. All this action takes place during gameplay, and examples of what you might see are chainsaws, championship belts, basketball hoops, and even a throne. And that's the Colorado throne that they're talking about. I'm not sure what other schools are going to be using that. Even they took the time to detail those new traditions that are coming up that recruits love, players love, people who are actually on the field, they feel like they have a part in building these traditions, and it doesn't necessarily fall on the fans as much, but it's more of player traditions. And I think that's just as important as well when it comes to college football, because a lot of times when you're a recruit going to these schools, you don't really have a say in how things change or how things pan out. So I think adding that is just that new era touch that they're trying to give to us. Something important that they talked about though is suit up in your favorite uniform, and college threads are ever changing each year and even game to game for some teams. Real world uniforms are made with countless variations of cloth materials, stitching patterns, colors, patches, stripes, logos, names, and numbers. And it's cool to know that all 134 teams with multiple variations in helmets, they had to create a brand new tool set which allowed artists and designers to build the uniforms in real time, seeing their work instantly in Engine. So you'll notice if you play with a team like Oregon, look, they may not come out to the same uniform all season. And I think even having that detail in a dynasty or a play now situation, that's something cool to experience. I think something that's huge that we want to make sure we touch on in this video, outside of all the other things, is the dynamic attendance. So this is a new feature to help bring more authenticity into the game, which revolves around attendance levels in the stadium. To help paint a better picture, as EA said, here's a great example from one of our team members who was playing a dynasty with FIU. During the first couple of games, the stands were not very full, which resulted in a lower home field advantage stadium pulse. But once he landed a big win on the road at Indiana, the team record was 7-0, the stands were becoming more full to start the game, and by the end of the season with a 10-1 record and finishing in the top 25, home games would result in sellout crowds, and the home field advantage pulse meter was now rocking high on the way to a conference championship. And I think that's going to be really cool to experience in Dynasty, but I hope they bring this over into Road to Glory, because that's going to make it feel even better when you go to a lower ranked school that necessarily doesn't have the pull or the push that you're looking for right now, and then you lead them to say an 8-2 record, and you notice that they go from quiet crowds to basically rocking, and you're literally at Sam Houston State or something like that, which is crazy. Now, getting into the hand signals, they talked about they research schools and capture each team's hand signal signs during pregame runouts and after positive plays throughout the game that the crowd will be emulating in the stadium. So you got Wisconsin's W, the Miami the U, Nebraska Bones, SMU Pony Ears, Kansas State WC, and the Wildcat, TCU Go Frog. So that's really cool that the players will be emulating that along with the crowd in itself too. So that's just really cool to have so many traditions in the game along with the chants, man. We can't sleep on that. They got Texas Fight, TCU Riff Ram, Auburn's War Eagle, Hey. And overall, man, I think it's just a good look to see that they put so much effort into the details of the game, right? This literally sets the foundation for the future of college football. When you have so many of the little things taken care of, it just opens it up so much more for us to be able to experience this game next year and the year after that. That way, when these traditions aren't changing, we're getting so much more of the game in itself. And so with that, guys, I want you to go ahead and take a look at that blog for itself, because it's a lot of good details in there, but I just wanted to touch on a lot of the big things I felt like were really important that you would want to know about, and hey, go from there. But outside of that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I'm extremely excited for College Football 25, and if you haven't, make sure to check out my 2 Road to Glory series I got going on with my cornerback Till Jam 'em out here, uploaded yesterday, along with the running back Till Run 'em at the University of Miami. But outside of that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.